Today I'm going to show you some of the ways that you can incorporate deadwood into your garden to create great habitat for wildlife. Deadwood is a really important part of the natural cycle because it returns nutrients to the soil, and it also provides habitat for wildlife such as fungi, moss and invertebrates. In turn, this becomes an important food source for birds and small mammals. Deadwood is increasingly rare in the UK, as we often tidy up or burn wood that would otherwise be left to rot. But by leaving wood to rot, we can create a little wild enclave right on your doorstep. If everyone did this, we'd have a lot more habitat for wildlife in the UK, and it would be a lot more connected, which means it would be easier for wildlife to move from place to place. So once you've had a go yourself, why not encourage your neighbours to do the same and help build a network for nature in your area? Wood decay begins in living trees, where dead or broken branches, cavities and hollows are a natural part of a tree's life cycle. While we'd normally encourage leaving trees to their natural processes, sometimes you may need to reduce or remove a tree in your garden for safety or aesthetic reasons. Leaving standing dead trees is an option. A good tree surgeon will be able to reduce the crown to prevent branches falling from a height and to leave a pollard or a standing dead tree. Standing dead trees, especially those with large trunks, are a great habitat for woodpeckers, tree creepers, bats and insects such as peacock butterflies. These Leylandii in my garden were reduced to their trunk a few years ago. They're still alive, but they haven't grown back much at all. While native hardwood species like ash, oak and beech will support more native wildlife, there's no reason that non-native softwood can't also be a valuable wildlife resource. A tree marked for removal, which has been reduced, can be killed by ring barking, which will allow it to safely decay over time. Ring barking is where the living tissue of the tree is removed by creating a thick cut and removing the bark and the top layer of wood called cambium. This will prevent the nutrients being transported around the tree and eventually let the tree die off. Invertebrates will colonise trunks like this of their own accord, but I'm going to help them along by drilling some holes of varying sizes into the trunk. This is ideal habitat for solitary bees. Another method is to fell your tree high off the ground. Rather than cutting it back to a stump, you could leave it standing up to 6 foot tall. This stump has been left in my garden, and you can see it's filled with mosses, fungi and different kinds of invertebrates. If you do have some logs left from tree work, you can make a log pile. Avoid taking dead wood from woodland, but instead use wood from yours or a neighbour's garden. I have some old stumps from a conifer that was cut last year. While it's okay here, it's better to place it somewhere shady and damp, and in direct contact with the ground. Humidity is important to encourage decomposers and invertebrates, and full sun will dry and heat the wood. Bigger bits of wood are best, but smaller logs and twigs can also be used. Different sizes and species are welcome. It's good if you can leave the bark on, but as you can see here, I'm also using scrap wood from an old fence. Partially burying the wood allows underground invertebrates and decomposers to access nutrients and to stimulate the decomposition process. Vertical and horizontal deadwood provides slightly different habitat to cater for specialist species. I'm going to make a vertical standing log pile from a range of logs of different sizes. To do this, you can dig a hole around 30 centimetres deep and arrange your logs. Try placing the taller logs in the middle with the shorter ones on the edge. Make sure they're firmly embedded as you go. You may need to secure the base with extra soil before placing the next log. placing some flatter logs on the edge, but try to bury them as much as possible too. Once you've arranged your logs, backfill with soil and water the ground to create good conditions for decay. Creating a log stack is another option. The spaces in between the logs are great for invertebrates and small mammals, and also provide habitat for amphibians and reptiles looking for a place to hibernate in winter or shelter during the summer. If you have smaller branches and brush left lying around, you can make a habitat pile in a corner of your garden. Again, invertebrates like centipedes and beetles will love this. Predators like birds, toads and hedgehogs may be drawn here to feed or to shelter and hibernate. Start with the larger, heavier branches on the bottom and place thinner branches and brush on the top. You can also add in any dead vegetation left from a garden clear-up. So there we have it, several ways of creating deadwood habitat in your garden. Give it a go and see what wildlife you can find.